I think I ran into your dad the other day at Browns. Well, I don't know him, but I saw him from a distance because back in the day, it was probably 4 years ago. You had probably just graduated, and I knew who you were obviously because you were doing big things around here. And Brian Kublis actually is a good buddy of mine. I know he coached you up, so we were we kind of heard about you a little bit. And I remember seeing you and your dad at Browns, and I was like, damn, like. When you see him, it's like, all right, that makes sense. That's why he's going D1. Like, you're just bigger than everybody else. And your dad's a unit himself. So I guess that's where you got your genes from.
Yeah, for sure.
But, I saw you guys at Browns. But then I think like maybe 2 days ago, it was like the day after I reached out to you to see if you were around to do a pod. I actually saw him there, I thought anyway. And I guess it must have been him. But, yeah, here with CJ Dippre, Alabama tight end. And on his way to the NFL.
Yep.
So welcome, man.
Appreciate it. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, you bet. I'm glad. I really appreciate you carving out some time. I know probably the next 4-month window is quite possibly the biggest 4 months of your life. So to carve out a couple hours here is much appreciated. So yeah, let's just jump right into it. I guess like what's the origin story for you? Like what piqued your interest in football at an early age? Like was it kind of set out at an early age? You knew you were going to be doing it?
Yeah. So my dad played 2 years at Lackawanna, and then he went and played at UConn for 2 years. So,
cool.
With that football background, I kind of got into it at a young age. So did my brother. He got into it at a young age. But, my dad was always my coach growing up in the Pee Wee leagues and that kind of stuff, the Pop Warner. And, kind of just grew from there. I started to love the sport, enjoy it. I was good at it. So I was always bigger than everyone else. So it kind of came easier to me at a young age.
Yeah.
And then, got to high school. We had success when I was playing at Lakeland. Really all 4 years we had a lot of success, especially, my junior, senior year we did real well. So, just that. I played quarterback in high school, so that was kind of the thing for me. That's what I thought it was going to be. And then, as I got bigger and bigger, it was always, like as I got recruited from college, it was more of an athlete or a tight end, some defensive offers. And, kind of came from there. So then I thought my best future was playing tight end. To make it to the next level in the NFL, I wouldn't have made it for quarterback. I would have probably played okay as a quarterback at a smaller Division I school. But, like my first step was Maryland. I wouldn't even have played quarterback there. But, I went there, played tight end for 2 years, then, had the opportunity to transfer, got to Alabama somehow. Don't really know how. From Scranton to Alabama, it was definitely a big stepping stone, huge change. You got to get kind of used to it. Southern hospitality, that's a real thing. That's definitely for sure. But it's awesome. it kind of just, everything kind of came into place for me, hard work pays off. I wouldn't say I got there out of luck. I definitely put the time in, hours in, stayed where I needed to go, stayed away from people I needed to stay away from. And, now I have my chance for my real dream.
Yeah, it's awesome, man. It's so cool to see somebody from this area doing it. Cause like, I think probably the last guy in the league was McGloin, I would say probably from this area. So to just know that you have a shot is so cool to put NEPA on the map, and been fun, like loosely watching your journey. So you're playing quarterback at Lakeland and, getting recruited. Like what is the recruiting scene like? Cause like, I know like guys at Valley View struggle at times just because, we're a smaller area. We're not, unless your team is having tremendous amounts of success and you're at the state level, you don't always get the eyes that you need. Like, did it come down to going to camps and stuff for you, or was it like purely just kind of through the typical like recruiting steps?
I think a lot of it was camp. A lot of it was, like me and my dad sent out a lot of our film. I had high school coaches to help, but for the majority part, me and my dad sent it all out. He would, find the email or search the school and send all that stuff out. And then, you go to the big camps that have more than one school, not just like, I'm going to go to Syracuse camp where Syracuse, you go to a big collection of camps, and then, those coaches spike interest. Maybe they'll invite you to those camps, and then it kind of just builds on. But, like you said, the area is just so, like, we have good athletics around here, but like it's so small on the map, or just like parts of PA, Pittsburgh, Philly, they have major athletes. So, it's hard for a coach to come up and see one person. Like I remember when Kentucky came to see me out of high school, they came 8 hours just to see me. There was like, they weren't looking at anyone else. They came to see me. They saw some JUCO guys at Lackawanna, and that was it. So, you have to have a coach that is willing to go out of that way, see something in you, and want to go out of his way to go all the way somewhere to recruit one kid.
Yeah, kind of just like bang for your buck from a recruiting standpoint. Like they could go to Philly and see potentially 10, 11 guys in a weekend, or come up here, like you said. And so it's probably a huge nod when you get a coach to travel up here.
Oh yeah.
Which is nice, and I'm sure that kind of reinforces what you're doing and knowing you're on the right track. What was your college team growing up? Like, who'd you just like as a fan?
I liked Ohio State. I never really remember being a big Penn State fan. I think I kind of drew away from that because everybody was a Penn State fan.
Yeah.
So it was kind of, I wanted to do something else. I didn't watch a lot of college football growing up until I started getting recruited. I was always NFL.
Yeah.
And now I'm only college. I don't even really watch the NFL because, by the time, your film study, practice, hours on hours all week, play Saturday, the last thing I want to do is watch football on Sunday.
Yeah.
I want to relax, get my mind off it. But
need a break.
I liked Ohio State. They always had success, so I was kind of there. And when I entered the portal, that's where I was going to go. Not that I had tampering going on. There's nothing going on, but I had a parent that I talked to there of a kid on the team. So I was like, I want to go to Ohio State. And I had my biggest game at Maryland was my sophomore year against Ohio State. I had a hurdle that game. I had a bunch of yards. I had a touchdown. The touchdown took the lead. We had all this success going on in that game. So I remember him texting me like, oh, like they see now, like they see why they missed out on you or whatever. So that's where I thought I ended up going.
That's cool.
It was a whole spin cycle back into it.
Dude, and that's so true. Like you could, like when you have your biggest game against a team like that you genuinely are interested in, like when those coaches are breaking down the film, it's like, oh damn, and now like from a coach's mindset, like their whole mindset is probably different with number one NIL and then the transfer portal. It's like they're scouting probably at the same time they're doing film and breaking down for their guys, so it's like a whole different landscape, which is it's neat because like I feel like a lot of people are complaining it's like the transfer portal and NIL is ruining college football, blah, all this shit, but like I don't know, man, like the parity across like Division I football is the best it's ever been in my opinion. Like the games, I mean, besides the college football playoffs, but like there was legitimately like 12 teams this year or more that could potentially at any given moment like compete for a national championship. And I think that's because of the transfer portal changing and stuff like that. So it's like, I don't know, like you like kind of talk, like you complain that like, number one, you guys deserve whatever money you could get. Cause I mean, like that's just a capitalist economy. Like you are what you're worth and you should get it, because guess what? If you don't get it, somebody else is who probably doesn't deserve it. So it's like, I'd rather see the players get it every time. And then, but like, I feel like 75% of the last maybe 3 years, the Heisman finalists were all transfers. So they all got an opportunity somewhere else. So like, as a viewer, we're benefiting from that. Like, I think college football is in a great spot. I think they kind of made the right steps there. So it's been nice to see that evolution. And then like, even you, it's like, who knows? I mean, if you stayed at Maryland, maybe you still would have been in the same position you are now, like to have a real shot to go to the league, and you probably would because you were killing it there. But it's like, dude, Alabama, like for the last 15 years, that's the cream of the crop. To say you played at Bama under Saban you had Saban for a year, right? Like, it's crazy. He's the best college football coach of all time. And like, even jumping into that, like, what was the biggest difference you saw between your junior, senior year here, between Saban and, under a new coaching staff now?
I mean, it was definitely a big change. I think Coach DeBoer came in and did the best any coach could do. Just for somebody, I always said when he first came in, the first day I met him, I was like, just for a coach to come in and willingly want to coach after Coach Saban left the program, like that takes guts, man. Like you said, most likely the best college football coach to ever coach. So much success, so many good athletes that he was able to bring in. Consistent like winning. He brought that program when they weren't. I mean, Alabama was good, but he brought it to what they are known as now.
Yeah.
So he did good, but Coach, it was intimidating. Like Coach Saban, you never want to get on his bad side, never get yelled at, never do any of that. But he just had so much demeanor. Like I think when he walked, it's not like I think people feared Alabama. I think people still do, but like Nick Saban's on the other sideline. Like it's intimidating. He just has that factor to him. Like, dude, that's Coach Saban. I remember that entire season, my first year there, Coach Saban was there, and every day we bring up the end of the practice. I'm looking at him like, I've only seen this guy in movies, on TV.
Mm-hmm.
I'm looking at him like, this guy's not even real. And he looks and acts exactly like you would think. Old guy,
Yeah.
Believes in it, believes the hard-nosed stuff, old scheme, into it, obviously holds that standard to him. And it's just like, dude, he's standing right here. I'm talking
In
to
the
him.
flesh.
He's sitting here like, he's like, we're working on the indoor. He comes like, slaps him in the butt. I'm like, dude, that's Coach Saban. I'm like, I guess it just has another feeling for it. But my senior year, I think Coach DeBoer did the best. I think a little bit of the standard left with him, but I think it's still there.
Mm-hmm.
That just going with Coach Saban, man, it was a different feeling.
Yeah, and it's hard coming down from that level too, because obviously it's like the biggest shoes ever to fill. I actually heard, I think it was Desmond Howard the other day on game day. He said, you don't want to be the coach to follow a legend. You want to be the coach that follows the coach that follows a legend, because the expectations are just through the roof. And unless you win a natty that year, it's a failure, because that was the standard that Saban had set. So it's like, it's a brutal spot to be in. Yeah, and I give him all the credit in the world for taking that position. And I think obviously Alabama's going to be just fine. Like, you guys get some stud recruits down there. And also, like, when Saban left, I don't know, like, how many people transferred out, because
a lot of transferred out. Like, like you were saying about the portal, I do believe it is making better games.
Mm-hmm.
It's leveling the playing field. Like you see this year, we lost to Vandy. Vandy had a great season when they're never good.
Yeah.
They usually have 2 wins in a season.
Right.
Their quarterback doing great things, and they're bringing guys in. Now I heard that they brought in a new staff, or their staff just like kicked like 40 kids off the team or something like that, and they're going to bring in a whole new team.
Right.
So that's what happens. You bring in now you're a contender.
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of what happens to all these schools. It's just leveling the playing field, because your boosters will give more money, because if you're a booster there, or alma mater, or whatever you want to say, and you want that team to win, you're going to give money for them to get the athlete. Yep. So now your 5-star athlete isn't just going to your top 5 schools. You're just going anywhere, because you can pay them as much money as you want.
Yeah, it's weird how it kind of like balances it all out, because like when they first opened up the NIL stuff, I'm like, basically whoever's the richest is going to win. It's going to be like the Yankees or whatever, with like no salary cap or whatever. But the reality of it is, between the combination of the transfer portal and NIL, it balances itself out, because like you just said, now Vandy's viewed in a whole different way. You get a few people in Tennessee who got some money, and it's like, hey, we could do the whole Colorado thing, clean house for the most part, and start fresh, because we have all this steam behind us now. So like the blue bloods, they're always gonna be at the top, because it's hard to just kind of wither away at some of that stuff. But I think there's going to be that parity, and like other teams popping up, and like it might only be 2 or 3 year run, but it's cool, because it's exciting. It's like getting closer, I think, to like March Madness, where like basketball's different, because anybody could kind of win any given day, and obviously football too. But
it's still getting there, especially with the 12-team playoff. It's getting there.
Yeah,
March Madness, any team, and basketball, it's just about being hot that day.
Yeah.
You're hitting shots, you're doing that. Like football's different. You need to consistently be good or not have bad games. Like all around, you can't have a bad game. Instead, you're relying on your offense, defense, and special teams, rather than your 5 guys that see most of your minutes.
Right.
But like you said, you see these teams even in the 12-team playoff now that would never be in a 14 playoff, not even close. And like you said, I mean, I think it'll change. I think the 12-team playoff this year was wild. Not saying that we should have been in or not, but you have your teams that they're not natty contenders, but they deserve to be in because they won their games. So I think it needs to be, you need to have 12 teams in there that are all contenders for a national championship.
Yeah.
I get like you win it, but it needs to be power schedule. Like I won't even say Alabama, but like, Ole Miss, South Carolina, I thought they were playing really well. We beat South Carolina, but I thought they were playing very good football at the end of the season. Ole Miss, I think Jackson Dart's a stud. The whole team's, they're good. Kiffin's doing
dangerous,
a good thing there.
could play with anybody. Yeah.
Could do anything any week. So it needs to be people that can all contend for natty and all. So it's not blowout games or bad games or stuff like that. But you see, even Texas, Texas was the high roller for a while, and who they play, Arizona State, and they just had let them come back. So it's kind of just getting that momentum. You get in, you're not used to being in as a school, so you have that extra fuel to play better, I guess.
Yeah, I think the biggest thing now, like everybody's complaining about, is just like the seeding. It's like maybe if you win your conference championship, like you're not an automatic bid, or
that's what it is. It shouldn't be. Maybe not, but like a team like Boise, with all due respect, like they shouldn't have a bye.
Right.
You can't give a bye to
Give them a shot, let them dance.
Yeah.
But to give them a bye is tough. Yeah. When you go in and lose your first game, then, and that's kind of happening across the board to an extent. So I'm sure, you got to live with it for a couple of years. Like next year, it might shake out perfectly under the same exact format. It just depends. But give it a few years and I'm sure they'll adjust. But also all that shit takes way too long all the time too. They're afraid to make change, it seems. But yeah, I guess jumping into your next 4 months, what is outside of obviously just training your ass off, I'm sure, and meeting with teams, what's your mindset going into this window of time in your life?
I mean, it's definitely enjoyable, but also questionable at the same moment. I don't know what to expect. I mean, I'm sure nobody really knows what to expect. You only do this one time in your life if you have the opportunity to. So obviously, I'm grateful for that. But just working, keeping the mindset, keeping the body right, getting your sleep, really kind of just focus on those little things that can help.
Yeah.
Getting 10, 12 hours of sleep like that right there changes the whole aspect rather than just 8 hours. And you're supposed to only get 8 hours or whatever.
Yeah.
So, it just keeps your body fresh so you can do better the next day rather than have a great Monday and then, every week kind of just step off from that. So, right now, I got to go back to Alabama the 7th, get some more stuff to go training. 8th, go down to Miami. I'm training down at Miami. And then, train for 2 weeks, play in the Senior Bowl, which is February 1st, and then go train for the other 3 weeks before the Combine.
Damn. That's a lot
of training.
That's a lot of training, a jam-packed schedule, but yeah, cool opportunity for you, man, and we're all definitely pulling for you back home. So you got us behind you, and I'm sure you got tons of Alabama supporters now in Maryland. I'm sure you did great there too. And I guess when you're home, you training up at Browns.
Oh, yeah.
Like I mentioned earlier, I know you and your dad were going back up there back in the day, and I'm sure that's where you're hitting now. Yeah, Jim's a great guy. I know. You kind of mentioned that you had a relationship with your dad.
Yeah, for sure. Jim's taken care of me, my whole life. So, my dad powerlifted for him. So I kind of know him through there. Him and my dad go way back since my dad powerlifted for him back in the day. So, kind of just taking care of me when I go in, asking me whatever I need, always, whenever I come in, even if I'm not going to the gym or not, which I'm always, every time I come in, it's always a thing. That's what me and my dad kind of do together.
Yeah.
We're not just, we don't, me and my dad don't drink together. We don't do that but we go to the gym. That's what we do. Go to the gym for a couple hours, hang out, lift together.
It's cool.
Because that's kind of what I did through high school, before, after football practice, when we would go to Browns, I would lift with him rather than lifting with, whoever else. And
I mean, yeah, when your dad's powerlifting under Jim Brown for a long time, he probably knows what he's doing.
He knew a lot. And, obviously so did Jim. And I love that environment. There's a lot of big dudes in there. So, just doing that, and whenever I'm in, obviously Jim's came to support me at a game before at Maryland, so they're always watching me doing the best, like a lot of people are. So it's kind of just the support factor that go into that. I love going over there though.
Yeah, dude, and they just revamped the whole gym. It looks, it's truly a brand. It's not like they just got new equipment. The whole gym is brand new. It looks friggin' awesome, and even we were talking on the socials and stuff. They're just really putting in a next level effort now, and it's, in my opinion, it's the best gym around here for sure. If you want to
the big thing now is bring your phone in, make your TikToks, do whatever, So, kind of just making it a friendly environment kind of for everybody. Before the remodel, I still thought it was a great gym. It was a great gym, but it could be intimidating. It's a lot of, like I said, big dudes in there, and now it's, you see more younger people, females. A lot of more females are there now, so people are kind of just going, it's an enjoyable, great environment. Like you said, they just remodeled, looks great in there. So got new equipment, got the more up-to-date stuff. So yeah, I'm hoping they get a lot more people. I think they have a lot, but I think it'll definitely boost their outcome.
Yeah. Cause I remember, I don't know if you know Kyle Colacino, but I graduated with him, and he's one of my good buddies. And I think right around the COVID era there, with all the restrictions that were in place and everything, I think, I don't want to say for sure because I don't really know, but like many privately owned gyms were struggling, obviously, because you have the state and federal legislation telling you can't operate your business when other things are open, and that probably is one of the things you could be doing to stay healthy, whatever. And rant, so they were probably struggling. I think my buddy Kyle put together a quick GoFundMe for Browns and everything. So just to see the rebound that they've had to no fault of their own. You know what I mean? Like, you're not even controlling your own destiny at that point. Like, it's not that you're not running a successful business. Like, the government's saying you can't run a business. So to just see that, like, 4 years later, now 5 years later, they're just absolutely crushing it is awesome, because Jim's just a great guy. I mean, like, I don't have like a personal relationship with him, but just seeing the way he operates around the gym, like, everybody's a friend. He's always chatting it up with everybody, like, willing to lend a helping hand. You know, ball buster, super nice guy. So, yeah, just happy to see those guys kind of killing it, and like in the spirit of, you know, like the mission behind like my whole business, like the Locals Only Project, like that's what I want, like privately owned mom and pop businesses, like that's what I want to see thriving. Like, screw all the chains. Like they have their place. Like it's nice. There's niceties to everything.
But I think everyone still has an appreciative factor for that local owned business, you know, where people that have been around for a while, that it's not a change, just, you know, it's there. You know, you can't get that everywhere. You're not going to get a Browns anywhere else. You're not going to see a Locals Only anywhere else. So it's kind of just something like that to be appreciative, and you're part of it. You know, you're from the area. I mean, you're all part of it, even if you go there or not, or buy from here or not. I mean, it's kind of we're all on the same team, aspect. Yeah. Yep, same team.
Yeah, 100%. Maybe just out of college, or like in my college years, like over break, like I'd go up for the month or whatever. And I was, always like one of the youngest guys for sure. Now it's definitely a younger crowd. Like, you could see, I don't know if it's Abington kids or whatever, but like tons of high school kids in there training and stuff. But it's good. I mean, take whoever you could get, I guess, as long as, you know, you keep the atmosphere right and everything.
Even when I was in there, all the girls in the bathroom were like making videos and stuff.
Really?
Not like it, and it wasn't like nobody was ever not fond of it. It doesn't bother me, but like I know it's like, dude, like why even come? You know what I mean? It's different if you're gonna take pic, but like when you're in there and you have that tripod set up the whole day. You know, it's like, dude, just go fucking do something else. You know. Like, there's no reason to.
And it's like polar opposites. Yeah. Because like, there's guys that are like your dad, and like true power lifters who are like,
because they compete, they have a team, they compete.
And like they do competitions there and everything. Like, it's not just like going there to like me. Like, I just go there to work out, like stay somewhat fit, and like go on with my day. Yeah. Then like you have the polar like opposite, like the power lifters, and then like TikTokers. It's like, Jesus Christ. Like,
that's why you usually see the younger, not at a gym, it's, you know, like a Crunch or Planet or something like that. Yeah.
That I was literally just having that conversation up there the other day with two buddies I ran into, and I've actually never been to the Crunch, but they're like, dude, it's off. Like they said, like it's like a good gym, but it's like too busy, and there's just tripods everywhere, like taking up, like you can't even walk.
That's how it is at school. Which at school, you know, it's a college gym, so it is what it is. But again, I've never been to a regular gym. I work at a facility. Even here, I've been to our high school, Browns, and the Dunmore Y I used to go to. That's it. Like, I've never.
Yeah, why dabble anywhere else?
It's bad.
Yeah.
Bad.
Is it?
I walked in once and I said,
have you ever been at our recreational center?
No, I've been there once, and that's bad.
Our rec, man. And it's nice. We have a huge rec, and it's a nice gym. I've never really like walked inside, but I've, you know, when I walk by to play basketball in there or something, it's a big part of the place. And it is just loaded, like 10 people at each thing. Oh. Everyone's got their own tripod.
It's funny because you'll go on TikTok and it's like, because you're in Tuscaloosa and it's like all included Planet Fitness. I'm like, Jesus.
I feel like a lot of colleges too, like even if they have a nice facility, like they're kind of lagging behind because like the workout world, like the fitness world just like boomed in the last like 5-7 years. So like their gyms aren't like built to accommodate this many people into it now. Like you look around, like there's a lot of like more fit,
there's more
like jacked guys and like and like even girls. Like girls just used to think like you just need to run and eat less. Like now, like girls work out hard and it's like getting muscular and built and strong. It's cool. But yeah, they don't have the facility to kind of keep up.
I like that tag when I got that buck.
Yeah, dude, love that. You got that back home, right?
Blast, yeah.
That buck. Yeah, that was a nice buck.
Well, we got it. I got it at Alabama. I got it down in Butler, Alabama.
Oh, really?
Yeah, we went. Shit. That was the end of our football season, and we had like a week or something. We had like off because we were done. Yeah. Like before we knew we were in the playoffs or anything like that week. So one of the tight ends in my room lived like an hour and a half, and dude, when I say he has land, he has fucking acres.
Really?
Acres.
That's sick.
So
that's the dream.
We went out and we had so much fun. Yeah, that was a blast.
That's the best. Yeah, I saw you got that buck and you're repping the local hat. It's funny how, so I had Dominic DeLuca on too, And it's funny, like you just told a story. It's like identical. You guys both had a week off in between regular season and bowl games, and you both went hunting. I'm like, that's how you know you're from NEPA. Yeah. You're just like using your bye week to go deer hunting and snag a buck. Yeah, it was a nice buck though. Yeah, for sure. You went with a bunch of playing buddies, or just like kind of buddies from school?
Yeah, buddies from school. We call ourselves the Sharks. That's our tight end room. When we got a new tight end coach with this new staff after Coach Saban, he asked if like we had a name, and me and my buddy Robbie were saying like we were called the Sharks, and we weren't. Like we were just trying to like get him something going, like make a joke out of it, and then it kind of just stuck. So that's kind of how we roll out now.
That's cool.
And a few of the tight ends and a couple of other guys, we went out to his land, about 6 guys. One of his coaches or something back home had like a cabin. So we all stayed in the. We had our own, nice little spot. Hunt the morning, go home, nap. Hunt the night, go have a fire for like 4 or 5 days. It was best, man. It was just a home away from home. That's kind of what I'm used to here. Not like I'm a huge hunterman, but like I like to be outdoors. Hunt, golf, fish, whatever. Kind of just be outdoors, be with nature. So just to have that again, which I haven't gone since I've been in school. Usually hunting season's done by the time the season's over. I'm home. Time. So. It was nice just to get out, especially with friends. That was awesome.
Dude, that's the best part of hunting most of the time. Like, obviously, getting a deer and everything is great, but
just sitting out there,
just kicking it with the guys, like either at camp, like at the cabin, or having a fire late at night. It's just, that is always the best part for sure. Yeah, I mean, I would miss that, man. Like I would struggle. I struggled like when I was at school, and obviously I wasn't playing college football, so I didn't have the commitments that you had, but like I'd be down there and I would get an itch like Friday night and be like, fuck it, I went to St. Joe's.
Yeah.
So I would be like drinking Friday night with everybody, whatever, and I'm like, man, I really want to go hunting. Like Saturday morning, I'll just get my truck, fly home for like 2 a.m, get here for like 5, just so I could hunt for a couple hours. And I'm like, that itch is real when you're away from home. But
yeah, it was awesome. And especially down there. I mean, Alabama's real country, so just to be in a different state. And it was, like there's no snow or anything, and it's not that cold. The mornings, a couple of those guys were cold, but in the mornings I was sitting out there. You're in a hoodie. You don't got to put your suit on. You gotta get your overalls. You put sweats and a sweatshirt on, go out. It was awesome. But just that being outside, like just sitting in the stand, perfectly fine. Nobody's bothering you. I like the peace and quiet. I enjoy it.
I'm with that. And like it makes the hunting a little bit more comfortable too when you're not freezing your ass off.
Yeah,
like,
for sure.
Sometimes it's a necessary evil up here, and you kind of grit your teeth through it, and the deer move a little bit more sometimes. But I'm like, that's kind of why I got into archery hunting, just because like to go sit out in the stand, it's beautiful out, the leaves are changing, it's like 50 degrees, you're not freezing your ass off, and like that intimate relationship with the deer versus like rifle hunting, it's, man, bow hunting is the best. I freaking love it. Yeah, I'm glad you got one, man. I snagged one like one of the last days myself, and I was in a little bit of a drought, so I had to take the cap off that, and hopefully smooth sailing from here. But just real quick, I just wanted to circle back to something I kind of thought about earlier and didn't get a chance to bring up, but like obviously like Maryland's is a very legit program. Like they're competing with all the Big Ten schools, and like have their years up and down obviously still. But like, I guess like what was the caliber of athlete like at Maryland versus just like probably loaded rooms with 5-star recruits at Alabama? Like, did you notice a sharp difference in terms of like across every position, or was it like just like, hey, this is D1 ball and like all these boys could play?
I mean, there was definitely a difference. Your caliber athlete at Alabama is, like you said, 5-star, absolutely huge monster, freak of an athlete in high school, has all the film, has all the technique and stuff like that. But, Maryland, there was a bunch of good guys, but where you can probably bring, not every, but you could bring a lot of starters from Alabama to Maryland, and they would start where you have your 5 or 6 guys from Maryland that would go and see the field there, So, it was different. I thought the biggest aspect of it was like the walk-on wise. So walk-ons at Alabama, you don't see the field as a walk-on in Alabama. You kind of go either you want to just play football, or, you're a diehard Alabama fan, you want to help out the team. And that's kind of how it is. You go to Alabama for football or sororities. That's really it. I mean, there's a lot of stuff to do, but the sorority and frat life there is ridiculous. I think there's a Netflix thing about it. I don't know, but the houses, millions of dollars of houses. I've never really got into that. Like, I don't understand it. I don't get it. But, that is a whole different part of it. And then obviously you have your football culture down there, which people die for. It's football. Like, it's football country down there. SEC is just football country. And at Maryland, like, I remember when my freshman year when we played at Ohio State, I mean, due to injuries and stuff, but we had like 5 starters that were walk-ons on our defense. Like, walk-ons played. Special teams offense, like, walk-ons played. And they had a fair shot to, earn a scholarship or do better and do that stuff, which, that was always a respect thing for me. Like, I don't think I would have walked on anywhere if I didn't get an offer. I probably would have been in a trade school doing something. But, yeah, I mean, just the respect to go do that without getting paid. You're paying your whole way. You're still going out there. There's guys way bigger than you, way, more talented, and you're just sticking in, doing it. And for the betterment of the team, betterment of yourself. I mean, I always thought that was a respect thing was.
Yeah, super unselfish, I think, to walk on. And it's a huge bet on yourself because, like, again, like, circling back to Dominic DeLuca, like, he walked on at Penn State. Like, he was a great high school athlete. Like, he definitely could have went somewhere else, maybe a smaller school, and started immediately as a freshman. But, like, to bet on yourself and walk on or run on, whatever it is, it's like, you got to have a lot of faith in yourself that you're going to make something happen. Because, like, Penn State, you know what I mean? Like, Maryland isn't Penn State. Like, Penn State's getting recruits too. So, like, to earn yourself a walk-on spot and then become a starter or a captain or whatever, like, yeah, like you said, like, the utmost credit in the world. And, like, those are stories people love hearing. Like, I'm also, like, of the other cloth, though. Like, I love seeing, like, the Travis Hunters of the world pan out.
Yeah,
because it's like, even LeBron, like, I'm a Michael guy, but, like, for what LeBron has done from 16 years old, like, clean slate all the way through, the highest expectations of any athlete probably ever, and lived up to them and probably exceeded them to the nth degree. It's like, dude, that's a lot of pressure to have on you when you're 16 years old. Like, even you, like everybody at Lakeland's, like, I don't want to say counting on you, but, like, the expectation is you're going to go play D1 ball and ball out, and that's exactly what you did. And, like, it doesn't happen by miracle. Like, maybe you started on second base because your dad was a power lifter. You have some great size to start, but, like, there's a lot of guys starting on third base, bigger than you, faster than you, stronger than you to jump, like, off the jump. And, like, you're going to Alabama and you became a starter, and now, like, you have a chance to go to the combine. Like, that's fucking awesome. Like, dude, like,
I mean, it's
both
great,
those stories.
and I think there is a 2 different way story, like you said. But I always saw it like there's always pressure. I've always felt pressure, and I mean, you kind of get used to it. But what comes, I think, like, I have it in my Instagram, like, pressure's a privilege. I just see it like that. If you're not pressure, are you doing enough? What are you doing? That kind of thing. So just having that kind of pressure, or always trying to, like, not live up to something, but trying to do the best for yourself, it's like, that's a privilege. Like, I've worked my whole life for this. I've spent the hours people were partying, I was doing something else. People were doing this, I was doing something else. So it was kind of just those years of, doing everything, at least the most I could do right. It's kind of just, like, paying off in the future now. So it's awesome.
Was that ever a struggle for you where, like, you're like, fuck, like, I just want to be a 17-year-old in high school and, like,
there was
go
always,
drink in the woods with my buddies
there was always stuff. I never even went to a party in high school. Outside, I graduated early. So I graduated.
Oh, did you?
Like, again, that was COVID. So it was real. When you graduate early, it's when, like, you graduate in December and you start college in that winter or January, that spring semester. So when COVID happened, like, I was done in November. So I had the whole month of December, whole month of January. I was just hanging out. No school. I was getting ready for college. And that was, I went to my parties, my shindigs there, but it was kind of, I just wanted to stay away from it, especially with the social media and stuff now. Like,
it's not worth it.
The last thing you need is, a jealousy or someone not being that fond of you. You wanted to take a picture, you would have drank underage or something like that. And I kind of just stayed away from it for the better good. It sucked. Obviously I'd probably have a lot more closer friends if I did all that stuff, but it's paying out now. So it's kind of just, that's where I respect it all, and it's like, it was worth it. Did I always want to just maybe just be a regular person sometimes? Yeah. Or, like, I'm so tall, I stand out anywhere I go. Would I want to see the world if I was a regular sized person? Sure. But, like,
nah,
I mean, it pans out.
Dude, every dude on earth would kill for your size. You don't want,
and I get in those discussions, but it's like, man, you just, like, you stick out anywhere you go. Or, like, if you went to a bar, and this has never happened to me, but, like, you have that kid who's always cocky or something. Like, maybe he wants to like, oh, I'm gonna go hit this dude, or I want to fight the biggest guy in the room and see what. And it's like, so it's always like watching your back, or someone trying to push up on you, and you gotta walk away. And it's like there's always something that comes along with it. But I mean, it has its benefits. But like I said, to go a week or so as a different perspective, I'd like to see what it would be like or something like that. Which that day will come. Soon I'll be done. Soon I'll be working a job and stuff like that. I've been lucky enough, blessed enough I've played everywhere I went. I started since I was a freshman in high school. I played a lot and started at the end of the season my freshman year. Had a great sophomore season at Maryland. Transferred to Alabama, started there, and it's kind of just been going on. So I'm ready to work for it again.
That's what I really appreciate. It's a very mature mindset that you have, like that genuinely. Like I don't think myself or plenty of other people would. And like credit to like the people in your corner too, to like keep your head on a swivel at a young age. Cause like it's really boils down to like, what are you willing to give up today for like a better tomorrow? And like you said, like you're living out your dream now. Like there's
definitely a sacrifice part of it. And I'm not saying like, should I be eating better than I eat right now? I mean, I've been eating good now since I'm getting ready for the combine, but all throughout college, should I have been eating better for myself? Yeah. Could I be doing more treatment? Yeah. Like those are big sacrifices, but I always thought the small ones were not going out to party or not going out during the week. Like what is it? You want to make a better future hold for yourself. I mean, you want to do if you're going to truly do what you say you're going to do. I've always wanted to go to the NFL. Like, what are you going to give up for that? And it's just small things. It's not the huge things or, I'm going to go on a diet or do this. It's just those like, there's no reason for me to go out on a Wednesday while my friends are going out, or there's no reason for me to stay up all night if, I have practice in the morning. It's kind of just sacrificing those small things that turn into big things.
Yeah. And I mean, like, to again, like just to see the bigger picture from your perspective, it's like, yeah, you might be missing these parties now, but like you make it to the league, like you have a full off season, like obviously all the benefits of making it to the NFL, and you get to live life and like experience those dopamine hits, if you will, from a whole different perspective. Like you might be on a boat in Florida with teammates who have incredible amounts of money, and like having maybe like just one party, even like the best party of your life that you could ever experience. Like
when you're not going out when you're not going out all the time or doing this all the time, like when we do have a break or spring break or something like that, like not that we go big like with the party scene, but we we spend money, like we have great times where it's not just here, just there. Like we go out to the exotic places. We do all these things, go out on boats, like you said, do jet skis. So, like we had the one bye week, we went up, one of my friends on the team had a private jet. So we flew up to the Eagles game the night, came back the next morning, and it's kind of just doing small things like that. But, like when you save up for one thing, I mean, you have the time and effort, and it's like, I've been so good. And then you can have a good time rather than, I got to lay off or whatever like that.
Yeah, it's cool. Who, I would imagine it was probably Milroe. Like
no, it was.
No. I'm saying like who got. He's probably making the most, right?
Oh, most. Yeah, him or Ryan.
Ryan
true.
Williams
are definitely making the most.
Yeah.
I don't.
Yeah, I'm not trying to get into anybody's.
Stuff, like I made my
wallet,
good, my good amount. Like nothing's. I've never made $1 million, $500,000. I've made money, yeah, but like even when I entered the portal, like we were talking about earlier, when I entered the portal, it wasn't really. That was like the beginning of the portal. Still, that was like the second year at NIL. There wasn't a lot of people transferring for millions of dollars. Yeah. There wasn't a lot of that.
I was thinking that actually. I'm like, you might have missed like the window by 2 years because like you probably would have got some big money thrown at you just to transfer.
Like we were saying, like I think it levels the playing field. I think college football is in the right direction, but it's still not as pure as it once was.
Yeah.
Like there's still an aspect where
now it's a business.
You're paying a kid out of high school $10 million. You have no idea how that kid actually is going to pan out in college. You're taking a chance, and good for him, but he can sit there off that $8 to $10 million contract. And I don't even know how it works if they're paying these freshmen for a year or for 4 years, but like you're good after that, man. Let's say you come to college and have God bless us having a horrific injury, or you come out and you're just not as good as you were supposed to be. Like you still have millions of dollars.
Yeah.
You're way past anyone else your age.
Yeah.
Way past.
It would take 30 years for you to make that much money at a normal job.
And I think it's, like I said, it's leveling the playing field. But there's definitely big pros and big cons.
Yeah.
What comes with it is responsibility. I know someone on our team, and I just heard this story. I heard, someone on our team got a lot of money coming out of high school, and I don't know what year he is, but a lot of money, and they had to pull money back because he was blowing the money.
Really?
You know, like, but when you're young and have like, why not go buy yourself a Lamborghini or something? Like you could.
That's
you
what
have
like
money to do with it.
They just said on the other broadcast with Gunnar Stockton starting over Carson Beck. They're like, he's driving like an old Ford pickup with like 300,000 miles on it, and Carson Beck was driving a $300,000 Lambo, like Huracan or something. I'm like, that's like, I forget that. Like, you're watching college football, and like for me, like,
we're getting paid now.
Yeah, money. Dude, I just forget. I'm like, these kids.
You know, like, I've written papers about it. I've done my stuff. I think it needs to come to a cap. It's got to come to NIL. If you're going to pay people as much money as people are getting paid now, it's got to be like the NFL. All freshmen need to make the same amount of money. You know, you should get incentives, seeing the field, you know, even scoring or your stat. Like, you should be getting paid enough for that stuff. You should be paying, if you're a starter or not, you should be like, and then once you enter the portal, you should be able to, the coach should be able to see how much money you made there. Because again, I could be sitting here saying school A was offering me $250,000 when they weren't.
Right.
And now school B either has to match that or not. You know what I mean? So it's kind of, there needs to be a cap and a lot more restrictions and rules about it.
I think to your point, it is, college football is going to lose a little bit of the purity, just because like business. Hey, money talks.
And I feel that purity within the game playing.
Yeah.
You know, as a fan or an aspect, it's going to make it great. You know, like you're going to see all these teams, but being within it, you know, if I'm a starter on the field and there's guys not on the field making more than me, it's like, damn, bro. You know, like why is this kid getting so much money? So then that gets the aspect. That's why there's so much transfer stuff. That's why there's so much of this. And I mean, it's good. I think it's good for the game, but there's, like I said, there's cons to it.
Yeah, it's hard to find like what the right solution would be. Like, I wonder if
they'll try a bunch. There'll be a bunch new.
Yeah.
Now with the 12-team playoff, they're going to try new stuff with that. They're going to just keep trying stuff until it pans out and works right.
Yeah, I think it would be interesting to see like if they did put in a cap, like you said, whatever arbitrary number, say it's $500,000 a year, which is a shit ton of money for an 18 or 19-year-old. And then, but if you were worth $3 million, like say Travis Hunters of the world, whoever's making like that type of money, like I wonder if they put it in a fund and like kind of release it to you slowly, like kind of like not a retirement account, like but something where you could get it earlier, but it's like like an annuity. So like every year, hey, you're set for life. You made $3 million. We got it invested over here. It's actually making money for you. It's making 10% a year. So you're making $300,000 a year on that money, and we'll trickle it out to you until a certain age, like maybe 25.
Yeah.
Like we'll release $100,000 a year or $250,000 a year for you, so you could help out your family. Like people who come from different situations than you or I, who are really counting on that money. Like you like people in, you know, like if you're, I don't know, like you're growing up from a harder upbringing and you want to help your parents out at an early stage, you could. You have enough money to do that, but it's like it would be nice. Like it flirts with like not treating people like an adult. Like once you're 18, you're an adult. It's your money, do what you want with it. But like maybe the more responsible thing would be, hey, like, you know, we have it stashed over here and you're going to get it all at 25 and then some because we invested it for you. I don't know. Just interesting thing to think about. But I guess let's do a fun one, talking about size and everything like that, and like some of the guys at Alabama. If you were in a fight, what's the biggest animal you think you could beat in a fight? I have a buddy, he's my size, smaller than me, who's like 100% convinced he could. I don't know if it's maybe like beat up a bear, like a black bear.
Or like fight a bear?
Dude.
I don't know,
like,
man.
There's
animals
no way.
are vicious. Like, you know, like even a buck, like anyone would think, you know.
Grab
like,
it by the antlers and wrestle it down.
Yeah, but like if that thing came at you with its antlers down, I mean, and it punctures you, that's it.
Yeah.
You know, like, so there's a lot of things that go into it, you know.
Even if it kicks you once, like they go up on their hind
like
legs
even a
and
hog,
kick you.
if you're wrestling a hog, not a pig, a hog,
Yeah.
like you would think it's easy. What the heck is this thing going to do? Yeah, you get around it, put it in a guillotine or something like that. But
they're squirmy.
yeah, man, these things are vicious. Like it's life or death for them. We don't live in those situations.
And like it's like
one,
the I don't know, like their muscle makeup, their fibers, like they're fast twitch, like animals. it like you can't wrap your head around. Dude, I think like mine's I didn't really think long and hard about this, but I would say maybe a raccoon.
Yeah, I would think anything. I would think a lot of things smaller than me, and like not like have like weapons on, not weapons, but like I don't know. But even like a canine, like an attack dog. Like,
Yeah. Oh, the fuck.
I don't know if I'm getting that thing, man.
No
like one
way.
bite, you're gonna think you're gonna feel that. Like it's definitely before you land a solid punch on this dog. Like it's gonna bite you once, and I don't know how I'm gonna respond to it. I wouldn't know.
Even punches, like they don't work on animals.
No, they don't.
Like if you like, they just
get more aggressive.
Yeah, like the only way, in my opinion, the only way you're beating an animal is like you got to choke it out.
Yeah, you have to. I would think that's the only way to do it.
Take their back.
I don't know. That's a good one though. I would say something smaller like that too, though.
Yeah, I think people have like a very
or like if you want to go with like a cow, but a cow's not really vicious. Like a cow's big, but like
yeah, you
I don't know how
cow.
you would kill a cow, but yeah, but like what's it?
Hop on its back and fucking
get it in the chokehold. I don't know.
No saddle, just take it for a little ride and then slowly. Yeah. You ever go cow tipping or anything like that up in Lakeland?
No, like my family lives on a farm. I mean, we just hay the fields. We don't have live animals. My mom, when she grew up there, they used to, but no, I've never done that. I didn't even know it was a real thing.
I know. I don't know how real it is either. I think there's.
I know they do sleep standing at least most of the time. So I mean, you could probably go up and scare it, but I don't know if it would fall over.
Yeah, I think even tipping a cow would be hard. Like you might need two guys.
Too.
They're big.
Big cows, couple 100 pounds.
Yeah, big bastards. Because like even I was just talking about getting a cow, like a quarter cow or a half cow.
I've been telling my buddy this.
800 pounds of meat back.
I've been telling my buddy
and that's dressed. So like how much do they weigh? 1,200 probably.
I told my buddy Robbie Utz, the other tight end, man, my best friend. We do everything together, and I'm like, dude. Like, we're seniors now, so I'm like, dude, if we came in here as freshmen, like, we should have bought a cow. And I'm like, it's like, what do you mean? I'm like, dude, if we just bought a cow, we went 50-50 on a cow, or got more people in on this cow, and we had, and again, you play for Alabama, someone would have raised it for us, or helped us, or do whatever. I'm like, dude, we could have just had, like, burgers or steak. We could have done anything for months, man.
That
like,
meat is the best.
Yeah, I was like.
When you know how the people are raising the cow, like, versus what you're buying in the store, that meat, it's like twice as good. It's crazy. And you get, like, if you got 200 pounds of meat, like, even if you went 4 ways,
yeah,
bro, you're good for 9 months at least. It's the best.
Yeah.
I just got a chest freezer.
I told two freshmen
do
that. I was like, they're young, they're other countries. And the one kid was where we went hunting. And I was like, dude, you guys should just get a cow and raise it. And his one girlfriend lives on a farm with cows. I'm like, dude,
that's the
just
move.
ask them, get a cow, raise it for a few years, and then eat the cow, man.
That's
like,
the
come
best.
on.
That's what they're there for. People get upset. I'm like, hey, if you're not vegan, I don't want to hear it.
Yeah.
Do you eat the venison?
Yeah.
Yeah. It's the best. I got to pull it out of the freezer. I got my back straps. I just got them like cut in half. But like, dude, a back strap from a deer is arguably like some of the best meat you'll ever put your lips to. It's the best.
Yeah.
And like even in terms like from a performance standpoint, like venison, elk, bison, even like grass-fed, grass-finished beef for you, bro, there's not a more nutritious meat on earth. Like if I was in your shoes, I would be eating friggin' venison and elk 24/7.
Yeah,
like
venison, elk, bison's a good one, and bison's like, you can locally grab that. So
yeah,
that's really healthy just because how lean it is. So.
Yeah. And like I truly feel like a difference when I eat elk or venison. Like I don't know if it's
it doesn't sit in you as long, and you don't feel like as like fat eating and stuff. Yeah, I
like
agree.
the way our bodies absorb it versus like some of the other stuff we're eating, and like there must, in my opinion, like there has to be like a different like nutritional makeup outside of like the calories, protein, fat, all that stuff. Like the vitamins and all that shit is in there. Like just look at a deer and elk, like the way they roam in nature. When you eat it, I don't know if it's placebo. Like maybe it's me telling myself that, but like I truly do feel a difference the next day. I'm like
it goes to a
I
different
just feel
part
like
of your body.
more energetic. Yeah, like just like more alive almost a little bit. I feel a difference. Let's talk combine, and then we'll get you out of here. I know you probably got a bunch of stuff to do.
Going to Mohegan.
Oh yeah,
going to the poker table. That's where I'll be.
Nice, sweet. Well, good luck. What do you play?
Poker. I mean, I'll play. If there's like a $10-15 blackjack table, I'll sit and mess around. But like, I just feel like that is just so like an actual luck. You know, you could do it by the books. I don't know how to count cards. People know how to. Yeah, if you do it that way, but I like poker. You know, it's just
you're more in
free
control
will.
of
I can
your
sit
destiny.
there and fold for hours. I can sit there and play for like. I enjoy just sitting in the room.
Yeah.
You know, like usually when I come in, me and my dad, we don't go to Mohegan. We'll go to like Wind Creek out in by Allentown. We've done like 9-hour shifts before. Like I'll sit there for hours, man.
You got that oxygen pumping.
The
in,
one day
you
we
stay wide awake.
I think we played for 8 hours, and by the end of the night, I won like $1. I mean, it's not losing. You know, it's fine. Like I'll take it, but you know, there's nights we went to Mohegan the one time. Within 3 hours, I won like $1,700. Like, and it was like that's like $300-$400 an hour. Like bang bang. Like, and it's
fucking awesome.
We enjoy playing. You know, we play a bunch of home games out of Alabama. We play like 2-3 times a week. You know, we kind of just enjoy sitting around playing. You know, gamble a little bit. Same
concept as like sitting around the hunting cabin or a fire. It's just like it's a camaraderie. You're shooting the shit with the boys, and you might win some money every once in a while. It's like best of both worlds. Even like me and my buddies were looking at the other day. We were watching. It was just every Thursday we go up to my buddy's house and watch the Thursday night game, and we were all going through like our FanDuel accounts to see like what our P&L was, like how much have we actually won. Like we've been betting, like nobody's too crazy or anything, but like for the last 7 years, and it's like you end up you gambled maybe $34,000-$40,000, but you're only up and down $1,000. It just makes it interesting. It's just kind of not even about the money, just you get a little stake in the game. But yeah, I guess so. Like when you're training now, I know like some of the more like obviously your speed matters at tight end. It's a huge fucking part of it. But like for wide receivers, running backs, cornerbacks, stuff like that, like they'll get into super speed specific or combine specific training now, where it's just like your takeoff for your 40 is dialed and shit like that. Like, are you doing stuff like that, or are you kind of just going like a true like combine specific training, like maybe that's what you're doing in Miami, or are you just kind of going about your business as normal? Like,
no, I'm sure it's
training
more
to be a tight end,
more of a combine training.
Yeah,
you know. Again, I haven't gone down there. We went through what it's going to look like, and like you said, the get off's number one thing. And I think any position, even the big guys, you know, I would think that. I know that the get off your 40 is the most important thing, at least for the 40.
Yeah.
You know, because if you can get your steps down and get into rhythm quick, then you're going to have a great 40 time. Mm-hmm. So getting into that, it's like, I'm sure that's what I'm going to be doing. You know, training specifically for those drills. These first 2 weeks, I'm going to be training specifically for that. But, I mean, I'm still going to play in the Senior Bowl. So I'm sure there'll be more football things than there would be if I wasn't playing in a bowl game.
Yeah.
And then the next couple of weeks after that will be more, you know, just combine. You know, your 40, shuttle, whatever, 3-cone, jumps. So just being explosive, being flexible, being able to do all that stuff.
Yeah, it's cool. If you had to put some, let's not say predictions, let's say goals, what do you want to run, jump, and bench?
Bench, I want to break the record. Always wanted to break the record. Yeah. I've been pretty strong my whole life, you know. So
what's the record, you know?
I think for a tight end, I think my dad said 35 would beat it. I haven't looked at it, but I mean, I think like right now unstretched, I'm doing 30, at least 25. Damn. The other day I did 20 unstretched, not really training for it. Again, you don't do that stuff. Like when you're waiting in college, like we lift heavy, you know, slings and stuff, you know, carefully, but I mean, we just lift heavy. So I want to do that. The 40,
that'd be huge.
Huge. The 40, I wanted to do that forever too. That's what I tell. I've been calling these people, and I'm like, dude, that's all. Like that's what I want to do, you know. And speed.
Get people
big.
talking when 40, you break records.
For any like 40 is the one. Yeah. You know, that is the one that is gonna make millions or not make millions. You know, that's gonna bump you round to round how good you're gonna run it. So I know I want to be above the average is good. I don't know where the average will be. I mean, it's always different, but I want to be above that. I think with the training I'm gonna get, I want to run in between a 4.58 and a 4.64, which is going.
That's moving.
You know, right now I don't get into when people ask me if I want my mock draft or prediction or whatever. I don't want to know. I don't want to know where I'm supposed to be, where whatever. Like it'll all pan out when I'm done.
Yeah.
But I know they plan to have me like a 4.8 or like some 40 where I'm running that in my pads mid-season.
Right.
Like so, I already know I'm going to beat that expectation. But you know, I want to run something like for a 6'5", 260 fella.
Hell yeah.
To be moving.
Damn.
Jumps. Again, I haven't jumped in a while. I think I jumped like a 9'10", whatever, the vertical one time at a football camp, which was solid then. I don't know how that is now. vertical, I think I'll get a good one. I'm good jump. Like when I dunk the ball, I got to jump off 2. I could jump off 1, but I'm more explosive off 2.
That's good.
So that'll be good.
Yeah.
And then
That
it's all questions, but I'm excited.
Dude,
I can't wait.
I'm
sure it'll be nervous, but after the training and doing it, and again every single day working on the 40, taking down millisecond at a time. I'm sure it'll be comfortable when the time comes.
Yeah, it's a good tight end. Well, I feel like the upper end of the tight end class, like I was looking at it just with the tight ends coming out, obviously Warren and that guy from Bowling Green, but like I feel like the drop off is pretty steep after those two. Yeah. So it's like,
and there's always it's always like that. There's like 2 or 3 guys, and then there's a drop off, which is there's got to be room. Like last year, Bowers went, and then it went like 3 rounds or something before another tight end is. Yeah. So it's kind of who needs a tight end, and the tight end is just being more of a used position in the NFL. Yeah. Now you see every single team, even with Kelsey, Kittle, all these guys, you see 3 tight ends playing every game. Yep. And not just sets, but like 3 tight ends seeing the field by themselves. So it's kind of the position's evolving more, and it's getting to the best point. So that's why, I'm grateful. When I was moving the tight end, you had, your Gronks and everybody, but there was only really 1 tight end on the team. There wasn't a lot of guys playing. So I think more teams are using them. More people are getting back into, like you see the Eagles use the tush push now. And again, that's one play, but more people are using more heavy personnels like that. So.
Yeah, like a true H-back. Like even like oddly enough, like Gronk and Aaron Hernandez were like the 2 that it's like, oh shit, you could use, if you have 2 guys, like you could really do some damage here. But like, like Kelsey, Noah Gray now,
it's supposed to be the mismatch in man or zone, because usually you have a linebacker cover you out of the box, which you're gonna be faster than, or you're gonna have a safety covering you, which you're bigger than. So it's kind of just finding that easy zone, knowing how to work the zones or man coverage routes.
Yeah, and I think you're seeing that evolution in the NFL now. Like even with the run game coming back, I think so many defenses had to adapt to the speed game where like people were going 4 and 5 wide with fast guys. So like you got to bring in that like nickel type guy or like that fast safety or a hybrid like outside backer. And now that's like so many rosters are built around the speed that the powerful running game's coming back. So like it just comes in waves like that. So yeah, like you go in there at 6'5", 260 and you could body up some of these like safeties or run past some of the linebackers. Like you're in a great position. It's I love watching I play tight end too, and obviously we're a little different. But like I always like kind of pay attention to tight ends and appreciate.
I enjoy it because again I do it. Maybe I'm biased, whatever. But like the tight end just outside of the quarterback knows the most out of the entire offense. Yeah.
And you have to be able to do the most.
You have to do it all.
You have to block like a fullback,
do all of it.
Run like a receiver, like run routes like a receiver, and block like a tackle.
Know the whole playbook.
Yeah.
Like sometimes me and my buddy Robbie, we like the other day again, when you get in like bull practice and stuff, not that it's like a joke, which it's not, but like you have more fun. You kind of mess around. It's looser.
Stakes aren't as high.
So like like we're going around messing around in everyone's meeting rooms, trying to put our hoods up and hide in the meeting room. Like the O-line, they watch, only what they don't watch the routes, they watch their stuff, which they're doing good on. We're going to the receiver room. They're only watching the pass plays. They're not watching the run plays. So when you go to our room, we got to watch every clip from practice because we're doing something in every clip. And it's kind of just, being versatile, being able to do it all, or, have a strong suit and then still be good at something else.
They got to let you start throwing the rock. Like they let Warren throw the rock.
I can throw the ball.
That's what I'm saying.
I've been trying.
Well,
when
too late now,
the
probably.
The one spring game at Maryland, we ran one where I was supposed to throw it, but I got tackled before I even was able to throw it. We had one in. For this bowl game we just played against Michigan, we had one in.
Really?
We never ran, but we had it in.
Damn, that would have been awesome.
I could throw a ball. I could throw a deep ball. I could throw a ball like 65 yards in the air. I could throw a ball, but my struggle was, even when I was playing quarterback, that's why I didn't think. Like my only struggle was just like how fast I could throw a ball. Like someone across the middle, I'll hit them, but it's going to take. I can't just rip the ball in there.
And that's sometimes that's just like God-given ability.
Yeah,
like
it's a lot of elbow strength. And, I have flexibility in my shoulders and arms and stuff, but not as much as someone that doesn't have as big as an arm as me.
Right.
I've got a.
Sometimes
different build.
It does. Yeah, like it does start hurting you at some point. And like even like I was watching the. I think it's Enigma or whatever on Aaron Rodgers on Netflix. It just came out. It is funny like seeing how different people start throwing too. Like you watch him through like the JUCO years and Cal years and versus how he throws in the NFL, and now everybody's starting to, like all the top guys are starting to throw like him. Like Josh Allen used to be like when you drop back, like we would all kind of throw the same way more or less, and now they have that like that torquey just little like one step, and like Josh Allen changed his whole. So hey, who knows? I mean, if you went to play college ball somewhere else and you were playing quarterback, you know, maybe you would have dialed it in.
That's something like I was asked if I'd ever do it. If I did it, I was filling out the combine paperwork and asked if I ever did it again, what would I change? I put a couple things, nothing crazy, but I said like as a long shot, maybe trying to play quarterback. Just because I said, you know, I think I'd be able to play something like or package like how Taysom Hill does it for the Saints. Like I'd be able to go back there. Like I know all the, you know, the option reads, you know, your power read, counter read, speed option. Like I'd be able to do all that stuff. So,
dude, I go to bat for Taysom Hill. My friends, like it's partially a bit, but I think Taysom Hill is the best football player to ever live. I really, like fuck Tom Brady, fuck all these other guys. Dude, to do what Taysom Hill does on the NFL level,
it is crazy.
To be able to play four different positions.
Now you're going to see like what's Travis going to do?
Right.
Are they going to let him do
if he
one?
Does that,
he's going to do both.
I know.
I don't see someone taking him and not letting him do both.
At least try.
Yeah, at least try or package him. Like you're not playing every snap like you are. You know, like you're not. And I think he's a great athlete, but you're not going to be able to outpass your four receivers to start. Your four top receivers to start over, and your four top DBs to start over. You know, you'll have to not focus on one, but be very good at one, and then you know the other one definitely play packages. He'll play both ways, but not. You know, your 100 snaps a game like he does in college.
Plus, like the NFL, like you can't wear and tear like those hits.
That's what I'm saying. We're done. We're getting done with a bowl season. Like this last month, the month of December. I mean, we practice, but it's not as hard. You don't hit as much. It's kind of just you're going through it, staying in shape, keeping your body going. I mean, they still have another week of NFL. You know what I mean? So
it's crazy. It's such a long season. Yeah. Plus all the playoffs and everything, but. Yeah. All right. We'll get you guys out of here. Thanks again for coming in. It was great meeting both of you. I really appreciate it. I know you're crazy busy, and best of luck, man. Sure. I know you're gonna kill the combine, and we'll be watching for sure.
For sure. Appreciate having me.
Thanks, man.
Yep.